What's up guys, it's Katie with Wild Prairie Farm. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to do a garden tour. It is late August here on the farm and we haven't done a tour since the beginning of the summer. So I thought we'd do a late summer tour, and the garden is cleaned up. It looks fantastic and I want to show you guys. And I'm going to show you some losses but also some wins. So let's go. So here we're starting in the original raised beds that were here when we moved to the property. Here we had asparagus and the bachelor buttons, and they did really well. But obviously they've gone to seed and they're just kind of doing their thing. This was so overgrown, and the zinnias in here, they look great, but they were getting strangled. And now my dad did some work and they look awesome. We've got some peonies in here and the oregano in the corner over here. And this is our catch-all bed. It was kind of the one that I would just throw things in where that didn't have a place. And so I'm hoping we kind of maybe clean this up later this fall. We'll see. Over here in these 4 beds is where we have our roses. And it was also a little bit of a catch-all. I want it to be a rose garden, but soon. I'm very excited. I actually get to show you one that is in bloom. This is the Proven Winners Honey Apricot. It's a climber and it smells divine. Absolutely love it. I've got a lot of roses in these beds. This is the Proven Winners At Last rose. It's a really pretty coral color. This was a random, I think, Home Depot pink rose. I've got the David Austin Boscabelle over here, and then another Proven Winners, which is also over here. It is the Oh So Easy Lemon Zest. So I picked up a few, and then I got another At Last rose. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 roses in these beds. These are Double Click Cosmos. I'll put the name on the screen. They've been so beautiful in bouquet work, and I've really enjoyed having that color. There's those Boscabelle David Austins. They also have a beautiful scent. I did have one David Austin that didn't take, but 5 out of 6 isn't bad. So down the middle here, I had carrots, and I think that was it. I just had carrots and I was filling in on the sides. So there's thyme and just some marigolds, rosemary, and after I pulled the carrots, we put these roses in the middle. And then here's the other David Austin, and here's the one that did not take. It's a climber, the Pilgrim. I believe it's a soft yellow. In this bed, these are the only like large tomatoes that I have left that are producing anything. So I planted these after the plant sale, just kind of put them in here because I didn't have anything in here at the time. And I'm glad I did, because I lost pretty much 90% of my tomatoes to blight. I don't know if it was a mix of the cooler spring and early summer that we had. We had a lot of rain and then it got hot and it was just really humid and just strange conditions this year. And so I don't know if that contributed to it or what, but these are the only 4 that are producing and doing well. And I actually have one right now, nice and tall. So, yay. Happy to have some tomatoes. I had a wonderful tomato year last year. It was my best year. And then this year is my worst year, which just goes to show that you just don't know. Year to year it changes because your weather is different every year, and you know, just the heat, the temperatures, the rain, and you know, you just don't know. So here we are. That is one of my failures this year, but it's okay. We'll keep going and we'll keep doing. So here is the cottage garden area that has been cleaned up, Unfortunately, the mower hit one of those beds, but in the swing, it's over there with the two other David Austin climbers in those pots, which are supposed to be in those raised beds eventually. But here, we just put weed mat here. We are going to put a fire pit here. So we're gonna put a large fire pit and gravel, and that is the plan for this space. So we wanted to we just did this space last Sunday, a couple days ago, when my family was here and we were able to get the garden all cleaned up. We accomplished so much, and the garden just looks tidy and buttoned up and a place you want to be. Not that you're like, oh, the jungle, it's dreaded out here. So let's get into what we got going on here in the main beautiful garden space. In these two raised beds here, I've got all of my pepper plants. I planted more bells than jalapenos this year just because I had way too many last year and I needed more bell peppers. And so I'm really satisfied. They're doing well. They were a few weeks behind just because of our funky weather this year, but now they're starting to kick into gear. So sorry for the mower. But now they're starting to kick into gear and they're doing so well, and I'm so pleased. I've just got different herbs, thyme, rosemary, scattered throughout here, just around the perimeter of the beds, the nasturtiums that have seen better days. Here I've got cucumbers, which are doing phenomenal. I've never had good cucumbers, and instead of planting individual plants, I actually dug a trench, seeded, just heavily thick sowed the seed, and just let it grow. And that is how this is doing well. And there's no cucumber beetles, there's no nothing, and they're doing fantastic. So we call that a win. The cucumbers and the peppers, killing it. In this raised beds here, there's just a few Lowe's, Home Depot dahlias. I've got a few zinnias in here. These were just newly sown, obviously, considering the height. And these are the Queenie Lime series. I don't know which one, if they're Queenie Lime Orange or Peach. I'll have to look it up. Guys, I don't label. I'm sorry. One thing about me, I am a chaotic gardener. I don't label. I probably should, but I just don't. I try. I write it down, and then I'm just bad at journaling and keeping record, hence the video record. It's better for me. I don't journal and write things down well. So if I ever sold to a florist, yes, I would want to keep track and keep record, but I just kind of have a looser freedom just selling at the farm stand and retail bouquets, and just people don't ask. Now, if they do ask, I will look it up and I'll give them the answer, but normally I just don't keep track of things. Like, I have no idea what variety of tomato this is, guys. Sorry, I could tell you what I planted at the beginning of the season, and then I would just guess from there. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's a Brandywine, but who knows? Now, I do know that these are the Aurora zinnias from Johnny's, and they are just insane. Like, some of these look painted. Just the way that they are, the coloring and the shading, the ombre look, they're absolutely beautiful. So I will definitely grow these again and again. So these are a new favorite here at the farm. This bed is where we have the snaps. There's a random, couple of foxglove that survived last year that are here. I actually have lavender plants here that I started. And this is pretty much going in here. I planted some green beans. We'll see what happens. And then I think I'll plant carrots in that far corner, but that's what's going on in this bed. And then we've got the Aurora zinnias here. And I think more of the Aurora zinnias here in this corner. And then we've got the giant purple. And I want to say those over there are the giant wine. And then I've still got some cherries. I still have some cherry tomatoes here in this trellis that are killing it. And then the 4 o'clocks that have reseeded themselves. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe how much I have pulled out because they were everywhere. Here is the yarrow. I did shear it back like I showed you guys. It didn't really come back, and what did wasn't tall enough, so I just kind of let it go. My plan is just like I did last fall, is when it's time, I'll just divide and just keep spreading everything out. Over here, these zinnias are a mix of the Aurora and the Ballerina. Look at that, I do know some of them. So these have been really successful. And then we just got random, like there's the bee balm, I think mountain mint over there, the regular mints over there. Needs to be sheared back, it's seen better days. You can actually see the greenhouse as compared to last time. We were gonna clean it yesterday, and there was a crazy huge wasp nest in there. And so we killed them yesterday, and now I can get in there and clean up. So this is where the tomatoes were. And they have all been ripped out. As you can see, like the marigolds are doing fantastic. Of course, the random celosia that's coming up. But yeah, like you can see, they just pretty much stopped growing. I just honestly haven't pulled those yet. They need to be, they're not doing anything. But I planted green beans here and all along this one too, pole beans, hoping they take. It's probably wishful thinking to think any of these little guys are gonna do anything and keep growing. But I mean, I got some. So I left a couple. We'll see. It's probably not the best idea, but it is what it is. On these trellises, I just planted pole beans, and those should be sprouting and growing up here soon. Here in this bed, I don't know. I think I might just plant some beets here. For now, I'm not really sure. We honestly just weeded it, and right now it's empty. Of course, the random celosia that always grows because I let it go to seed like a dodo brain. But that Rudbeckia, look at that. That Rudbeckia looks fantastic. We've got the Ballerina zinnias in here. Just gorgeous. More celosia. Oh, there's a couple of tomatoes in here, although I haven't really got any from them either. So, I think there's one down there. I should go grab it. Is it covered? Ugh, stink bugs. Get out of here. Might just give this to the chickens. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how these are doing. They're all just, they're diseased and they're dying. And it just is what it is this year. The zinnias have been a major success for me this year. It's crazy to have all this disease with the tomatoes, but none of my zinnias have had powdery mildew. Nothing. And it's so strange. I think I just started to see a little bit up at the front, but last year, like, they were completely covered, and yeah, it's just wild. So that just goes to show, again, you just never know what's going to happen year after year. But these zinnias are doing amazing. Where is it? This is a random dahlia. So the first year we were here, I want to say it was 2022, I planted dahlias in these beds, and this is one that keeps overwintering and expanding. And yeah, so we have a random dahlia, and I just leave it because it works. So, and I believe it's like a red and yellow, which is perfect for us Kansas City Chiefs people. Guys, as we come down, we have the giant celosia. If you've heard me talk about this celosia in past videos, I have the problem of letting it go to seed, and then it all reseeds itself everywhere. And so because of that, I don't start it, and which I like because it saves me time, but also does it because I'm in here weeding. But regardless, because they're used to my environment, they grow huge, they do well, and I just kind of replant them in rows to get what I need and pull what I, obviously weed what I don't, but they are ridiculous. They are insanely huge, and I'm just so satisfied. Like, you guys, like, look at this. I'm 5'6", so here we are with the giant celosia, but I love it. I think it looks so awesome in the garden, and I think it's just one of those things that, give it a big hug. I love it. It's awesome. Alrighty, we'll come through the celosia jungle. More beautiful Queenie lime. These might be Queen Lime Orange. I think that's what these are. And those are like my favorite. I love them. This is probably the thing I'm most excited about in the garden. Yesterday on Sunday, my family came over, my mom, dad, brother, sister, and they helped clean the garden. Now my dad and I and my sister were here last week. We got a big chunk done, but then when everybody was here and Marsh was able to be out here to help, we really got a lot done. And anyway, we can walk through the rows. Like, there's paths now. And this is the blackberries. Now my sister had this incredible idea to trellis the blackberries in an arch, and I was like, yeah, that's great. A blackberry tunnel, let's do it. And so here is the gorgeous blackberry tunnel. And what I love is that as the plants, everything comes in, I'll still be able to utilize the outside space, and that is the beauty of vertical growing. Anyway, I'm very excited. I think I'm gonna get lights, solar lights for these like I have for the other arches. But yeah, I couldn't be more excited and more thrilled for the blackberry tunnel. So let's take a closer look. Over here we've got our raspberries, and I think the way we're going to trellis these is just how the tomatoes are in the in-ground bed, just T-posts and just a straight cattle panel here. So, oh, I got some raspberries on there. All right guys, there is a look here at the back garden. Yeah, now all these zinnias over here can breathe. It's really just incredible. We still have a lot of cleanup, still more to do. It was like something exciting. So the reason really for like the deep garden clean and kind of the push to put in the fire pit, we are actually having my brother and my now sister-in-law, their wedding reception here. So they got married at the courthouse in March, and just our immediate family was there for my brother. And but now the whole family gets to come and celebrate. So we're having just a small, it's only like 60 people, but it's a small little reception for them here at the house. And so it's kind of why there's this push to get the garden ready, because we've never had a garden party before. And I kind of come from the event business. I worked as a floral and event designer for like 10 years before I stayed home full time, and absolutely loved it. I'm not even kidding. Like, I absolutely love parties. I love weddings. I love events. I love to design. Like, it was my favorite thing to make people's dreams come true with the parties. So I'm very excited because we get to do it here, and we get to kind of do whatever we want. So that's why there's this crazy push to get everything clean, and we're doing it, and it's looking fantastic. And it's awesome to like see the light at the end of the tunnel and how things are going to come together. So can't wait. All right, guys, figured we'd end it here in the farm stand flower field. So up here we've got celosia and finally sunflowers that are taking. Yeah, so I lost my entire succession, 2 successions actually of sunflowers. Ones I had started, transplanted before we went to Wyoming, so beginning of July, end of June, beginning of July. And then seeds I'd planted, and I lost about, I want to say like 400 to 500 plants. So that was really disheartening, and it was bunnies. It was bunnies because they were hiding in the weeds. So I weeded up here and mulched up here first, and we haven't had bunny trouble since. Praise the Lord. But yes, there's seeds, there's sunflowers over here that are coming up. Praise the Lord. I'm so thrilled. We've got sunflower babies. So we are gonna have some before the end of the season. Yay. We've got our cosmos again, our gomphrena, got our zinnias back there. I wanna say those are Benary's carmine, and I can't think of that lavender pinky one. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, these celosia, this specific variety reseeded itself from last year. So did these. The ones I intentionally planted are the terracottas, which love that color. I had some Sunday gold in here. It didn't do well. It didn't do well, and I wanted that pretty gold color. You guys, oh my gosh, the little frog. Huh. Cutie. So in here we've got lemon basil, which pretty much needs to be cut down. I cut most of that down, but probably should shear all this back. I'll probably do that sometime this week. But got gomphrena. This is all from seed that I saved from last year, so it did really well. And then there's the, can't remember gomphrena what it's called. But then I've got the carmine and the strawberry fields over there. See, I kind of know. Oh, there is some powdery mildew on these zinnias, but like it's not that bad and the flowers still look good. The fact that it's powdery mildew at the end of August and not like mid-July like last year is incredible. I want to say it was even earlier than that last year. It just felt like it succumbed to powdery mildew so quickly last year. So the zinnias up here this year are doing absolutely fantastic. And I'll show you the dahlias. I just don't know. I don't know what to do about the dahlias. I don't know what I do. Maybe I don't do enough, but we won't give up. I saved the tubers successfully. So these are all from tubers I saved. So that's a win. They are growing. They're just slow. Here's the dahlias again. So they're coming. I mean, they are. Don't ask me what any of them are. Again, guys, I didn't label them. Now I know what I bought last year. See, this is because of those prehistoric grasshoppers. So that's so frustrating. Anyway. Okay. In this bed here, this was where the snapdragons were. So all the snaps were here. I planted another round of zinnias and sunflowers and some amaranth. We'll see if they come up. If not, we'll just get some snaps and overwinter them. Oh, the one lone sunflower, guys, that actually survived because all of this was sunnies. One survived. Awesome. This is just a space that needs to be weeded. So yeah, there's plants in there. But I don't know if you guys have this grass weed, but this is absurd. And it's like vining and it's horrible and it's everywhere. I don't know what it's called, but it's a pain in the neck. There's some Veronica in here. Right here, there's a Veronica. Anyway. Sunflowers, the reseeded from last year. So, and there's foxglove. There's foxglove in here, biennial. So it was here this year. It should bloom next year. So Anyway, I'm hoping it does when I can get it out, but it's still in there. Oh my gosh, I about walked straight to a spider web. Okay guys, that's kind of it. That's the garden. Like I said, some wins, some losses. Tomatoes, loss. Sunflowers, definite loss. But peppers, great. Cucumbers, great. Zinnias, great. The blackberries, great. So we've had a lot of success. And we just count it all joy, right? Because it's all learning, it's all just beautiful and abundant, and that's just the nature of it. And it's never really failure. It's learning and growing and trial and error and seeing what works and what doesn't. And then it's just like a big science experiment to just figure out what's going on. And we still have bounty and beauty to enjoy, and I'm so thankful for that. So that is the end of the tour. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep going, keep growing. See you later, friends.